Hello everyone, time for the part 01, so the first one. So for the one who didn't really follow everything I did in the last one, you can just came to the repo here and go to branch 00 here, and we're gonna get the basic setup of everything we did in the last one, so the ESLint, Babbler C, and the basic Express setup. Nothing more, like I told you, I'm gonna put everything in episode. So time to jump on the code right. So now here we have, so this is where we quit the last time. So now time to put the GraphQL setup. So what we're gonna do, it's first thing we need to create like the schema and like the query and everything to make it work and blah blah blah. So we have a lot of stuff to do. So how I'm gonna work right now, we're gonna create a folder models. So we're gonna create finally the first collection to make it work with MongoDB. It's gonna be simple, don't worry about that. Here we're gonna import Mongoose and also the schema from Mongoose. After that, here we're gonna create the tweet schema. We're gonna be a new schema. And this one, nothing crazy. We're just gonna send text. So the text is gonna be the tweet himself. So it's gonna be a string, type string. After that, we're gonna export default Mongoose model, where we're gonna call that tweet with uppercase, and I say get that with the tweet schema. So we set up the basic collection for the MongoDB here. After that, we're gonna jump on the source folder here, and I'm gonna create another folder called GraphQL. Why I call a folder here called GraphQL? That's a good question. Here, what I do, it's everything about GraphQL gonna be in this one, and if I create a REST API, I'm gonna have a folder called REST. So yes, you can manage many kind of API for your API. I mean, it's my GraphQL, it's everything where I can do my GraphQL stuff, and I can maybe have some route for the REST because I call to a third-party API, like I don't know, like EMDB, stuff like that. So here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create inside my GraphQL folder, I'm gonna create a schema.js file. So here, this is your this is your most important file for your GraphQL. So here, I'm gonna export default, backtip here, really important. And here, this is where I'm gonna create the schema model for my query. So GraphQL, it's a query language. So it's a language who work in between the client and the server, and this one is really smart, but he don't know everything by default. You need to teach him what is your app, because like, I mean, Facebook use it, but Facebook is like, it's Facebook. So if I use it, he cannot understand how I'm working with my app. So every app is different. So here, what I'm gonna say, it's finally I'm gonna create my first schema where we're gonna go over finally the tweet. So here I'm gonna say type tweet. This is an object here, and now I'm gonna say underscore ID string. Why underscore here? MongoDB underscore ID always. Remember that. Text string. Okay, what is this text? Where this is coming? Pretty simple. Text gonna came from here. So what we finally say is we're gonna say to GraphQL, when you're gonna get tweet, you're gonna have two things you can fetch from it. It's gonna be the text, and it's gonna be the ID of this tweet. That's it. And really important to have the same name, because if you don't, you're gonna need to manage a way to tell GraphQL, like example, underscore ID equal ID for you. So after that here, you need to create a root query. So I'm gonna call that query, and I'm gonna say, so that's gonna be my basic query. And finally here, you finish that with the schema where everything gonna be set up, and I'm gonna say query right there. What is the query? Think about query like everything in REST was get. Everything when you get something, you query something, you get. So here I'm gonna call my first query for this awesome app, get tweets, with an S. Why? Because I'm gonna receive an array of tweets. So not just one tweet, I'm gonna get every tweet. For now, without pagination, we're gonna get every tweet. So now here I can say tweet. So I'm gonna say I can receive a tweet right there. But the thing is, if I do this, I'm just gonna receive one tweet. If I want to receive an array of tweets, it's pretty easy. You just put square bracket around it. So now GraphQL know you're gonna have a list of tweets. That's it. We just build the first query right there. But that cannot work without a resolver because, like I told you, right now you don't even understand we have a MongoDB database. So how we do this is by going GraphQL folder. I'm gonna create another folder called resolvers. Why I put an S, we're gonna have many of them. So here I'm gonna put an index.js, and I'm gonna put another file to call tweet resolver, because I'm gonna get again many resolver. So now here is gonna be again pretty simple. Like I told you, it's just basic stuff for the beginning. So here we're gonna import the tweet schema coming in from the model folder right there. And here I'm gonna export default an object where I'm gonna have my get tweet. So get the same convention. What I do is I always put the same name, get tweets. And here a resolver, it's a function will return your data. And now here I say find everything. So in MongoDB, this is the way you can find everything. So I say give me everything coming in from the collection tweet. So that's it. But that all we're gonna make it work. It's now we're gonna go inside the index.js resolver here, where I'm gonna import at the top my tweet resolver object resolver from tweet resolver right there. And now here I'm gonna say export default, and now look what I'm gonna do, query, and I'm gonna say get tweet, and now here I'm gonna say tweet resolver dot get tweet, Visual Studio Code autocomplete, awesome, yeah. So now here I have my query, get tweet. So now that's gonna match this query here by doing one little thing that's gonna be inside the index.js, where we're gonna create a GraphQL server we're gonna make right now. Because right now we just talk, we don't do nothing. So time to make a change. So here we're gonna need to install some package. So I'm gonna make use of the Apollo GraphQL server. So we're gonna run yarn add Apollo. So Apollo server Express, because I'm using Express. If you use API, that's gonna be Apollo server API. If you use Lambda function from AWS, you can use Apollo server Lambda. And after that, I'm gonna install another tool called GraphQL tools. We're gonna give you a way to use what we just built with GraphQL. We're gonna install that. I make a typo. So I say it's GraphQL tool. Sorry about that. Oh, perfect. So now here, what we need to do. Now we're gonna jump on the index.js here. At the top here, I'm gonna say import from Apollo Server Express. Why I always put my from here before I go back to the curly bracket? Look at what Visual Studio do. Autocomplete right there. Graphical Express, and I need also GraphQL Express. I'm gonna tell you what both do in a moment. Don't worry about this. Here I'm gonna import again from GraphQL tool. I'm gonna import make executable schema. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is here I'm gonna create my schema. So what I'm gonna do is here I'm gonna say const schema equal make executable schema. We'll take an object, and right there we know what we need. It's type def, and here after that we're gonna need the resolvers. So type def and resolver, we have some connector logger, blah blah blah. We have a lot of stuff here. So here I'm gonna call something type def. But the thing is, this type def, from where I'm gonna get that? That's maybe your question. So that's gonna be what we just built with the schema. We're gonna say type def. So this is the beauty of calling something export default. You can give it the name you want. I'm gonna say from GraphQL schema.js. So now my type def is that. After that, here I need the resolvers too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the resolver I have. I'm gonna say import the resolver from GraphQL, and I'm gonna say resolver. And because I'm using index.js inside my resolver, I don't care about putting index.js. JavaScript, it's smart enough to understand this part. Perfect, now we have the schema, so we are good to go. After that here, you see I use the same variable I've put inside my constant here. So now time to delete this one. Now we're gonna get some error from ESLint. So pretty easy to do now. We're gonna import constant object from config.constant, and now I'm gonna just pass constant in front of each one. Perfect. But now, okay, yes, GraphQL, okay, we import the stuff, but nothing is set up. So for setup GraphQL with Express, it's gonna be pretty easy. It's gonna be like a middleware. So here I'm gonna say app.use, and I'm gonna say here GraphqL. So that's gonna be this GraphqL right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say GraphqL Express. Oops, sorry, GraphqL Express right there. That's going to be an object here, and this object take one thing here. It's going to be the endpoint URL, and right there, what I'm going to do, it's because I want, that's going to be again another variable. I'm going to create right there in my configuration constant, and I'm going to call that GraphQL path, and I'm going to say slash GraphQL. So by convention, everyone always put just slash GraphQL for the endpoint. So I'm going to say GraphQL constant GraphQL. That's it. So now here we just set up GraphqL. GraphqL is the IDE, the awesome IDE, and I'm gonna show you right that at the end of this part. So just follow me here. Here I'm gonna add that use, and now that's gonna be something more. It's here now. I'm gonna need to toll my URL for that. So here I'm gonna say constant that GraphQL path. So that's gonna be slash GraphQL, and now here I'm gonna say use GraphQL Express. Be sure this one is GraphqL. And this one gonna be GraphQL, because this one is the IDE, so the tool for talk with GraphQL, and this one it's the real middleware. So it's gonna be a function. We take an object here, and this one the only thing you take it's the schema for now. Sorry about this. What's happening right now? Yeah. So this is schema like that. Perfect. But now we do the app.use, but now it's not again a GraphQL server. So all we can make that is by using a module already built in on Node.js. So that's why my ESLint don't get an error, and this is create server. So all we do this, it's gonna be pretty easy. I'm gonna say const GraphQL server, and I'm gonna call this with the create server, and I'm gonna make use of my app. But now, look here, the only thing we need to do now is we're gonna replacing app here that listen with GraphQL server. So if I take this one and I go there and I save, now we are on GraphQL. So now maybe you don't really see this thing. So now if I say, oh yeah, now I get an error. Look at the error. I want you to understand how read an error, cannot find module GraphQL. Gonna be pretty easy to resolve. Yarn add GraphQL. I forget to install this package here. Perfect. Now if I run the dev, now I get a must provide type def right there. So here I see what I've done wrong. It's here. Look at this. Really bad thing I just did. So here I put an array, but that's an object. So pretty simple to just fix. We go over and we make it an object, and now MongoDB running, app listen to port 3000. So now if you go to Google Chrome and you open localhost 3000 GraphqL, if everything is work, you get that. And now if I run my query, I click, so this is the docs auto generate by GraphqL. So here you can see we have the query, we have the tweet, and now you have the ID and the text, and everything it's coming because of the schema right there. Query get tweet and blah 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 right there. So now we can make a query by doing get tweet like that, and here you see what you need. So here I'm gonna say I want the ID and the text. Now if I run that, I get nothing. Why? Because I have nothing in my DB. That's pretty simple. So here, how we can fix that is gonna be really simple. So here we're gonna make use. So here you see Mongo's tweet find. Why I get that is because of my db.js here. I get debug to true. So now I'm gonna create some mocks, because now you see nothing and you cannot see what I mean by this is awesome. So inside my mock folder, I'm gonna call an index.js, and this is the place where I'm gonna set up some mocks data. So mocks, I mean some fake data to make it easy for us to work. It's gonna be like 20 line of code. So if we go there, we're gonna install a new package called Faker. So Faker, it's a package to get like fake name, fake whatever, like fake username, fake email, blah blah blah. So here, import Faker from Faker. Here I'm gonna import my tweet, because we want to create fake tweet from my model tweet. After that, I'm gonna create a variable called tweet total. I'm gonna say I want 10 tweet for now, and I'm gonna create a function here. We're gonna be an async one, like that, where by default every time I'm gonna with a try catch, sorry, because if we break something, so here if I have an error, I'm gonna throw it. So here by default what I want to do is I'm gonna always remove every tweet I have. So when I restart my app, I'm gonna remove every tweet. So every time my app refreshing, I'm gonna remove every tweet. It's gonna be good for just production, not production, but like for help us with the productivity speed. So here I'm gonna do another async stuff. So async await, if you don't understand this part, it's like promises, new kind of promises. You can find many great tutorials about async await on the web if you get stuck there. Maybe I can make one if you get really stuck here. So here I'm gonna say array from. So array from, it's a way to make an array, and I'm gonna say I want it to be an array finally of 10. So that's why I'm using length. After that, I'm gonna say this, because it's an array, I'm gonna use a for each, and I'm gonna make use of the callback here. The callback can be an async one. Where here I'm gonna just say await tweet that create. So this is how we create finally stuff on MongoDB. And here inside the text, I'm gonna say faker.lorem.paragraph, and I'm gonna put one for now, like this, and yeah, like that. So yeah, so if that do this because of ESLint, so I'm gonna just keep it like that. So that's gonna be one line, and if I do this like that, it's gonna be better. So here we finally create an array of 10, nothing inside the array, just an array of 10 of length, and we loop over each item and we create a new tweet. That's it. Here now what we can do, it's by going inside the index folder, index file inside the project. Here I'm going to import the mocks from my mocks folder, because it's an index.js. I don't need to import the file. And now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my GraphQL server after my mocks is done. So if I do mocks with a function where I have access to a den, because it's a promises, now I'm going to take all this thing and I'm going to put it right there inside, like that. So now look what's going to happen. Oh, what is all that? So you see, we create, so if we count everything here, we create finally 10 stuff to the DB. If you don't trust me on this place, I'm going to open RoboMongo, which is a tool to see your DB. And see if I open a tweet here, collection, tweet, 10 tweet with the text right there. So this is the text we just created with the mock. But now, what that let us to do, if you refresh your GraphQL graphical IDE here, it's now, if I get this call, boom, we get the data coming in from MongoDB. Here, like you see why GraphQL is awesome, I can say, hey, I want the ID in text. This is what I got. If I say I don't want to get the text, I run it, ID only. If I rerun again, I'm gonna get my text too. If I want, I can decide to remove the ID and I get only the text. So you see, it's pretty awesome. If you want to know how I get the send without clicking, it's by doing command enter in the Mac. So that was this one. So if you get to this point where the GraphQL work, awesome job. This is really great. This is what we want. And now here, the only thing you can do before, if you push it together or something like that, you run yarn prettier, and now everything gonna be pretty. Nothing to do more, and you're gonna pretty everything we did to make it looks much better and make your code more concise on everything. So I hope you enjoy. Don't forget, I put the link on the description about the repo, and I hope you enjoyed that. Please like it if you like it, and also comment if you think I can change some stuff on the tutorial, because this tutorial is for you, not for me. So hope you have a good night, and we talk later. Bye.